Welcome to our video on handstand walking. I'm Jesse with The Movement Athlete, and today we'll be showing you 13 different progressions for handstand walks. So our app has many more micro progressions, but this will be more of a zoomed out approach, starting from an earlier position, meaning from a plank and quadruped, rather than starting in handstands, and we will end up at the freestanding forward handstand walk. So when looking at and studying and training handstand walks, we want to relate it as much as possible to how we walk on our feet, and the way that our feet are placed, the way we are stable when we stand before walking in a certain direction, and same thing when in a handstand. You want to be in a stable handstand before going in the direction that you want to go into. And like I said, we'll be regressing all the way back to an early position, very similar to how when we were babies and we had to crawl first and learn how to stand and then learn how to walk. We will start in a similar position. We'll start down on the ground in a plank and quadruped position, gaining stability and weight transfer, and then making it more difficult and eventually getting inverted and then walking in the forward direction. So watch our progressions, and they're coming up next. Okay, we're here with our first progression for handstand walks, and we'll start off with plank taps. We'll go through a couple different versions and then finish with a single arm plank. So we're starting on the ground just like you would when you were a kid and you learned how to crawl first and learn how to transfer weight. We'll be doing this with the hands. So we'll start first in the plank position, and then we'll tap the shoulders. And we'll stick with the opposite side, and notice we're transferring weight. We're on one arm, one at a time, transferring weight. And to make this more difficult, then we can move on to the thigh taps. So here we're on the same side. Our arm has to go a little bit further now, and we're doing thigh taps. And then to finish this off, we'll do the single arm plank. So all of our weight is on top of one arm is locked, that shoulder is leaning a little bit outside the hand, body is straight, and then we'll get to the other side. And we're showing that we've got strength and stability on one arm in addition to transferring weight. Very nice. So what we're doing here is we are transferring weight onto one arm and showing that we can keep it locked and lean the shoulder outside of it, because eventually when we're in handstand, all of our weight will be on one arm because we've got to take the other arm off and place it down. We've got to learn how to shift the weight. So we're learning how to do that on the ground first with a good body position. The second progression will be the quadruped walk in the 4 different directions. So this is attacking skill work, because we're practicing bracing the core and learning how to keep a neutral spine and then coordinating movement in different directions. So we'll start off in the quadruped, which means that the shoulders are over the hands and that the hips are right over the knees and the spine is flat. And we'll walk in 4 different directions using the opposite arm, opposite leg formation. So here we should be tightening the core, breathing, and then coordinating the movement and practicing weight transfer in different directions. And again, notice that the arms are straight upon planting them and a slight bend when lifting them up, which is a natural way to walk. The third progression will be the bear walk, and we will do this in the forwards, backwards, and sidewards directions. So to start off, we'll be in the bear walk position, which is kind of like a down dog or a mountain, and we will start to walk forwards, and we will be bending the elbow a little bit as we pick it up and then locking it back down as we plant it, just like we want to do when we're walking in the handstand walk. So we'll also go backwards, and this is a good progression because half of our body is inverted, and we're getting that sensation of what it feels like to be upside down and walk in these different directions. And working the lateral positions. So we're hitting up 4 different directions and practicing being half inverted here. We've got our hips above our head and hands, and we are walking in 4 different directions. Okay, the fourth progression will be the wheelbarrow elevated. So if you have a partner, this is perfect to elevate as close to handstand as possible, or anything lower than, it also works. If you're by yourself, you could use a furniture slider or socks on a hardwood floor just to start getting used to walking in different directions. Now what's interesting is the more horizontal you are, the more this will tax your core, and the more vertical you are, you actually feel a lessening on the core and more work done in the shoulders and wrists. We'll start off in a plank position, giving one leg up. I'll grab the other one. I'm resting both ankles on my shoulder, and we'll walk forwards first. 1, 2, 3, 4 steps. We'll walk backwards. 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll walk to the right. 1, 2, 3, and to the left. 1, 2, 3, and then I'm letting one leg down, then the other leg down. So this can be considered endurance work as well, because now we're not worried about balancing, or we're not in the handstand either, and we can really go for 30 steps in each direction and endure a longer period of time in this position. So that could be good endurance work that will supplement your training for handstand walks. The fifth progression is the elevated pike handstand taps. We'll be doing the shoulders and thighs. So entering in the figure 7 or the bent body handstand shape, we'll be leaning onto one side, tapping same side shoulder or opposite side shoulder. And then after this progression, we'll be moving to the thigh or hip taps. So again, being on one arm longer than we were for the shoulder taps. This position requires a lot of hamstring flexibility. A regression from this could be to bend the legs a little bit, but what we want to do here is be inverted with most of our body weight on our hands and get that familiarity with being in this shape while shifting from side to side. We're heading into the sixth progression, which is the handstand shoulder taps at the wall. We will do this tapping the shoulders as well as the thighs. And we are coming out of the fifth progression, which was the piked handstand. And now we are full body, straight and at the wall. So as we enter in, we'll have the chest facing. We'll shift our body weight onto one arm and tap same side shoulder. You could also do opposite side shoulder. And now we're heading into the thigh taps, which means you're on one arm for longer and you've got to sustain that position on one arm for a longer duration. Really quick, if you want to get started with calisthenics but are unsure of how to do so, I highly recommend trying our free calisthenics assessment. It will only take you 5 minutes to complete, and you'll receive a detailed, personalized training program complete with recommendations and workouts you can use right away. If you found these videos helpful, please click the like button below and leave any comments or questions you might have in the comment section below. See you next time.